Nosey Nancies is a true crime podcast based in Austin, Texas. If you are sensitive to any of the trigger words, this podcast may not be for you. Due to its graphic nature, listener discretion is advised.
Oh, Nosey Nancies, tell us more. Murders, mysteries, and Texas lore. Tune in tight for the latest feat. Each episode is a killer treat. Oh, Nosey Nancies, tell us more. Murders, mysteries, and Texas lore. Tune in tight for the latest feat. Each episode is a killer treat.
All right. Hey, all you nosies. I'm Alequah.
And I'm Jasmine, and welcome to Nosey Nancies Season 3, Episode 2.
No!
What season is it? Season 4, Episode 2.
Should we just start over?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right. Hey, all you nosies. I'm Alequah.
And I'm Jasmine, and welcome to Nosey Nancies Season 4, Episode 2.
God, we're just so precious
I know.
and moral,
So endearing.
endearing, and just honestly, like, basically perfect.
I know. In every way.
You know what's not endearing and what's not precious?
Wartime.
Yeah. What the fuck? Why are we literally at war?
There's nothing cutesy about war.
No. And let me tell you something. If there's going to be people who get fucking, like, drafted, if there's going to be a draft, which I don't think there is, but if there was a draft, you know who needs to go? The men who ask for hugs constantly.
No, it's true. They
Draft 'em.
have to go. Yeah,
Draft.
get them out of here.
Immediately. Anybody with a domestic violence charge? Drafted. Go.
Or a rape
Get
charge.
out. Yeah. Immediately. Drafted. Any kind of violent offense, get out of here.
Yeah.
Draft them.
Go ahead.
Draft them. Actually, you know that they won't draft felons?
Why?
Well, I don't know, but this is the only time it's good to be a felon is during a draft.
Really?
Yeah, they won't.
Well,
They-
if we
What?
have another postponed season, it's literally because I committed a crime to make sure they don't draft me.
Oh my god. I think we're too old. Actually, I think 39 is the cutoff.
Really?
Yes.
I'm 2 years too young.
Yeah, you could get drafted, so can Todd. Todd can get drafted.
He would never would. I would have to club him at the knees. I'm sorry. You have to stay here.
you just pull a misery on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Consider me Annie Wilkes, baby.
Yeah. Baby, lay down. I'm gonna Annie Wilkes you. Let's do some role play. It's for your own good. I
It's
think
really
that's what she said.
romantic if you think about it.
No, it's very sweet, actually. I mean, it's very. I'm kind of jealous. I want that kind of loyalty and love, you know. Maybe one day. Here's to hoping.
I would Annie Wilkes you too, so if that makes
you
you,
don't
feel
have
any
to.
better.
They don't. They stopped the draft at 30-10. So, and I am 30-10 for the next 3 months, 2 months. Oh God.
I know. You're about to be getting older.
I cannot believe I'll be turning 35. This is just wow.
But at least
Flew by.
you won't be getting drafted.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do they do
They'll
the
draft.
physicals and stuff anymore, or are they just like a good meat shield?
I
Get
don't
on out
know.
there.
I think if you have diabetes, you can't go. You can't get drafted.
Okay.
And if you've ever been into like any kind of like state hospital or mental health clinic, you can't get drafted.
What if I
Yeah, if you
thought
spent-
I was in a mental health clinic, but I really was just at home? I do want to say that, The opinions of Nosey Nancies are that of their own.
I'm just kidding.
A commentative podcast and doesn't necessarily reflect anything that needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. Obviously, we have bad ideas and hot takes.
Exactly.
We're just being quirky. All right, enough of the crap. We're doing this season of the Missing Texas 40, but we're working from, like, the oldest cases to the newest cases. The older cases that we're going to be doing, there's not going to be a lot of information on.
Yeah, surprise. We don't have a lot of information for you today, but we do have some information nonetheless. And in all honesty, get real, like, these cases are pretty important because the chances of them being investigated anymore nowadays is not very likely. And these are still missing people, so they are, open cases.
I think there's a Texas Ranger that's still on my person's case, but
okay.
I mean, it's been over 40 years? No, it's been about 35 years. So, the likelihood of my person showing up is going to be pretty
slim. Low.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get out a calculator and figure out. I could do the math. I just don't. Well, I couldn't. To.
All right, big brain, Miss Big Brain over here.
I know, but it's very secret, so I don't want to do the math.
That's the thing is, like, I don't want people to know that I'm such a genius, so I have to act like an idiot 99% of the time.
Mine is 42 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a long time.
I could have figured that out on my own.
So, again, these are cases that are going to be with these two counties, in Montgomery County, Liberty County. They're both in southeast Texas. So it's going to be, that's going to be the theme of this.
That's the theme. These people are missing. There's weird goings on in these areas. Now that we're sitting here, I probably could have dug a little more into that, but I did not. So now I know for next time. Yeah. What? I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly growing as a person.
Yeah. I mean, that's important, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have that self-realization.
I keep growing. Yeah, physically.
As a person. No!
I keep growing physically.
Alequah, if you were here, I would slap the shit out of you. No.
Well, that would be abuse. Drafted! No, just kidding.
Violent crime. Drafted.
Drafted. All right, let's get. This is gonna probably be a short episode. But I think that's okay.
I mean, yeah. We're still dipping our toes back in. So
yeah, we're still.
I'm sure you listeners are too. Hang on, just a moment. Let me tell you. I'm trying to make up less excuses, but
we're so good at it. Like, why would we?
I mean, yeah,
it's an art.
It's my natural defense.
Also, it's an art form, and people are always telling us to, like, cultivate our art, you know, and to never stop.
Exactly. And you know what? This is for them.
Yeah, you're either with us or against us.
Yeah. So which is
it? And if you're against us, drafted.
Yeah, violent crime.
Oh, God.
This hasn't even been aired and we're losing followers.
I know. It's only funny because it's true.
So here's the thing. Like we said, these are older cases. There isn't a lot of information. So I am covering two people today. The oldest case in Montgomery County area. So Kenneth D. Stott, who is also known as Shorty, has been missing since September 17th, 1983. He was 21 years old when he disappeared. He was known to have last been at the Porter Lounge, which was a bar in Porter, Texas. It seems like someone saw him leave the bar with two unknown males in a yellow Ford Maverick. Stott had reportedly $240 in cash with him and was said to be en route to Humble, Texas to pay a down payment on a truck.
I was going to say, that's a lot back then. A lot of cash.
Yeah. His car was found abandoned at the Porter Lounge several days later, and his mother reported him officially missing on October 3rd, 1983. It's been rumored since 1983 that Stott was murdered and buried in the East Montgomery County area. Foul play is definitely suspected since he left with those two unknown men and had the money on him as well.
Right.
Stott was born in Pineville, Louisiana, and his last known address was on Route 2 in Porter, Texas. His case remains unsolved. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Kenneth D. Stott, or if you know anything about the two unknown men who were with him in the area, or possibly driving a yellow Ford Maverick, you can please report them to the Texas Department of Public Safety. The case number is M0806002.
That's pretty interesting because yellow in any kind of car is
that stands out.
Yeah, that stands out big time.
Yeah.
Also, it's interesting that you said he was born in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, born in Louisiana.
I'm gonna predict now that there's gonna be a lot of Louisiana like dealings and connections. Yeah, because my girl didn't live, or she wasn't born in Louisiana, but she lived in Louisiana. She kind of bounced around a lot.
Okay.
But Southeast Texas is on the way to Louisiana.
There. Yeah.
Right. And you cross over the border and that's a different jurisdiction, right? That's a different. So I also wonder if those guys set him. I mean, obviously it does seem like a setup, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems like a setup, and I'm not certain what the issue is with the truck, because his car was left at the bar. So I don't know if maybe his car stopped working, or if maybe one of the men that he left with had set up the situation with the truck or something. If it was one of those, set him up and then kill him type of deals, or rob him or whatever.
Right. We'll take you to the truck. Yeah. It does seem like maybe, I don't know how they conducted business back then, because, now you meet people off of Craigslist or the internet, or you go to a dealership. But I'm assuming a lot of things back then, especially when it comes to buying cars and selling cars, is you would use a newspaper or word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
But it does seem like if it was a dealing with with these two guys, you would think it was word of mouth,
right?
Because why would somebody advertise on the newspaper if this is what they were doing? They were robbing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could connect them.
And it does seem like probably it was a situation of hey, my friend who I know is selling, a truck, and he'll take payments. You just have to pay down on it. I'll just pick you up and drive you over there.
Yeah, I know a guy or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, but maybe, I don't know. Could you just run ads on newspapers? You could use a fake name, I guess, and nobody would ever. It's not like I don't think you had to put your license down,
No, I don't think so. I don't even know that you still do.
Yeah. But a phone number, you'd have to have a working phone number.
Yeah.
But I guess back then you could have used a payphone
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's interesting.
Totally. Yeah. Bizarre. So my other case is the case of Theresa Fishbach. She went missing from Spring, Texas around March 24th, 1986, when she was 17 years old. In January of 1986, Theresa had moved from her home in St. Charles, Missouri to live with her boyfriend in Spring, Texas. Her mother had received a Mother's Day card from her that year in 1986, dated May 24th. And then Theresa never contacted her loved ones again, and her current whereabouts are unknown. Very few details are available in her case, and both Spring, Texas and Missouri police are investigating. She is a Caucasian female with brown hair, brown eyes. Some agencies spell Theresa's name Fishbach, spelled Fischbach, or give her date of disappearance as May 24th, 1987. She has a tattoo of a cross between her thumb and index finger, and her ears are pierced. Now, when I was trying to gather some information on Theresa's case, I did find a Reddit thread. Let me see if I put down what date that was. I think it was maybe a year ago that this thread was active. But the Reddit thread is titled 1987 Theresa Fishbach in Guadalupe County Jane Doe, which was comparing known facts of Theresa's appearance to a sketch of a Jane Doe who went missing from Guadalupe County a year later. There was a user named Flat Top's Wife who commented that she was a friend of Theresa's and that Theresa and her mother spoke on the phone every Sunday, with the exception of the Sunday she received the Mother's Day card. Flat Top's Wife also said that she being Theresa's mother, had called Theresa after receiving the card and was told by Theresa's boyfriend that she had left. Her mom flew down and discovered that Theresa hadn't taken any of her things with her, not even her purse.
No.
And that the guy was, suspected to have been abusing Theresa and possibly even keeping her on drugs. He was a drug user. And that he refused to make a report of her disappearance, but the mom did. Spring, Texas police also, it seemed, according to Flat Top's Wife, had an issue with reporting her as missing, and it took also a year to have Missouri make a missing report for Theresa, which is where she was from. But her mom did have flyers printed and was trying to actively find her daughter on her own. She also mentioned that Theresa's mom had hired a private investigator who looked for her for 5 years. Not much really else is known about the case, but if you have any information on Theresa Fishbach or any information that can help locate her, the investigating agency is St. Charles Police Department, and the phone number is 636-949-3300.
And I just looked it up, and Guadalupe County is about a 2-hour drive from Montgomery County.
Yeah, and a lot of people said that they do bear a striking resemblance. The picture that I saw of Theresa and the sketch look very similar. Of course, Theresa does have that tattoo, but depending on the state of decomposure when the body's found, that might have been not visible. Yeah,
right. I mean, obviously, when it's like cases like that, of course you think the boyfriend.
Right.
Especially if he's, hopped up on drugs and he's been known to, be abusive towards her.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess if they've never recovered her body, you can't charge somebody with murder if there's no body and there's no evidence. You can't, it would just be circumstantial at that point, right?
Right. Yeah. You can't really do anything. I don't know if the police ever took him in. Flat Top's Wife didn't say that they did or didn't, but I would imagine that he probably still remains a suspect. They just don't have anything to get him on.
Especially with what little information we know about him and his, there's probably a good chance he ended up in prison anyways, or jail, or dead.
Exactly.
So.
But that's all I got.
So yeah, I'm doing Liberty County, and my person is named Terri Lynn Fregia. 23-year-old Terri Lynn Fregia, mother of three and well-known Rolling Stone, disappeared from Tarkington, Texas in June of 1989. Never putting down roots for long, Terri was known to have lived in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. At the time of her disappearance, she was staying with relatives in Tarkington, Texas, a town located in northeast Liberty County. I did do some research on that, and I found out that it was allegedly it was her mother that she was staying with.
Okay.
At the time of her disappearance, Terri left her cat, her car, and all of her clothes at the house. In 2018, Terri's case was given over to Texas Ranger Brandon Bess. We have tracked her to Mississippi and Louisiana prior to 1989. She was married in Louisiana, had a notary public license out of South Carolina.
Oh.
This is all according to Ranger Bess.
Okay.
We have tried to get her Social Security and the IRS to cooperate with our investigation, and U.S. Representative Dr. Brian Babin's office tried extensively to help us, but we haven't been able to cut through the federal red tape. We would like to know the last time she paid taxes or filed a tax return. The year 1989 was the last time she was seen by her family, but she might have been alive after that. Which is pretty doubtful because, like, she would have come back for her stuff, I think.
Yeah, I would think so. Especially if she took just nothing with her.
Yeah, exactly. When Fregia went missing, her family notified the Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
The orifice. Reporting Bigfoot.
Oh God, we're doing great. We're doing great. When Fregia went missing, her family notified the Liberty County Sheriff's Office to file a report. However, her case went dormant for years. In fact, she was not reported to the Missing Persons Clearinghouse by the Sheriff's Office at the time, which was discovered by her niece, Jamie Harness, who works for a law enforcement agency in Montgomery County.
Wow.
Yeah. So her niece, Jamie Harness, she joins a force. She's like, let's look up my, aunt's status. And her aunt was never put in the system.
That's fucked up.
That's real fucked up. When I first started working there, they were training me on how to run people through the database. We were doing a soft query as a test. I said, well, my Aunt Terri is missing, so let's check for her. She didn't show up. There were no results whatsoever. I knew that wasn't right because she had been reported as missing. Apparently, she was originally entered in the sheriff's office system in Liberty County, but her case wasn't kept up with. So technically, she wasn't reported as missing until 2013 when I filed the report, said Harness.
I would be fucking
pissed. Yeah, really pissed. I think this is going to be a common occurrence that we're going to see through these cases, is that these counties just drop the ball. And that's a big ball drop right there.
Yeah.
That's a huge fumble.
Oh my God.
Ranger Bess believes there's a good chance that Fregia went missing while in Louisiana. When asked why the investigation originated in Liberty County, Texas, Bess explained that her disappearance was first reported here. I interviewed her two ex-husbands, including one in Louisiana. They both said that she had a drug problem, and when it raised its head, she would go off somewhere. My gut feeling is that something happened to her in Louisiana, Bess said. But I don't think that's true because her stuff was in, her cat and stuff was at the house in Texas.
Like, even if Liberty. I was going to leave all of my, identification behind, even though that shit is so hard to get back or get copies of, I would never leave my pets.
No. I know.
Can't do it.
One of the most disheartening parts of the investigation for Bess are the false leads through the Combined DNA Index System, the CODIS. Not due to a possible link or match, but because there are hundreds of unidentified women, many murder victims who match certain physical characteristics as Terri, such as height, weight, and hair color. It is unbelievable how many are out there. With modern DNA, it's disheartening that we haven't gotten the familial DNA for more of these people in our database to figure out who they are, Bess said. If you know anything about the case or others, call the Ranger's office in the Liberty County Courthouse at 936-336-4627 or contact the Liberty County Sheriff's Office at 936-336-4500.
Well, hopefully if somebody calls in with something now that Bess is working there, it'll be handled correctly.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I got all this information from, most of this information from an article from Bluebonnet News called "The Unsolved: What Happened to Liberty County Woman Missing Since 1989."
Well, I mean, I definitely, I hope that now that she's been reported as missing, even though it's been so long.
Could you imagine working for the local government and going and finding that your family member was never correctly like put in the database?
I would not want to work there. I would immediately want to quit, but I'm sure at that point Bess was like, you know what, like, it's probably better if I stay, so...
Well, no, because Bess was a Texas Ranger.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. Her niece worked for she worked for the Montgomery County Police Department.
Okay. And what's her name?
They said a branch.
Okay.
Her name was Jamie Harness.
Okay.
And it doesn't say what law enforcement agency, but it says a law enforcement agency in Montgomery County.
Okay.
So this was Liberty County where her Aunt Terri went missing. They do suspect foul play was involved because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen her. Nothing's popped up. They reported her missing to Liberty because that was the last time she was seen in Liberty County. Yeah. But I saw in one article that it said like somebody had just swung by and picked her up to like take her somewhere, like to the grocery store or whatever.
Right.
And then they just never came back. Because all of her stuff was there.
Yeah. So maybe they both went missing? Or we don't know about that other person.
We don't know. Well, we don't. Yeah, I would assume it was an abduction because and it was by somebody that her family members didn't know. Well, the family members didn't know.
Yeah.
Because if it was somebody the family members knew, they I'm sure would have asked them. Or if she was just going to the store or whatever, you would think that she would have said something.
Yeah.
To somebody like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the store. I'll be right back."
Right.
Or, whatever. I mean, it could be that she left when nobody was there. And, it also could be that she wasn't living in Liberty County, but, was just passing through and just dumped all of her stuff there. But it does seem pretty strange that she would have all of her stuff there and not be living at that house.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've pawned off animals to my mom multiple times.
I would never.
Well, when you're young.
Only because, they have to be buried. My mom's pawned off animals to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that. A little thirsted. I still think of Thurston. I know. Una, that bitch.
I miss it. I miss both of them.
Oh, my God. Una was so mean to me. I think I pet her 4 times the entire time I lived with her.
Not too many people got to pet little Miss Una.
No, little Miss Una. But you know what? Because she tricked me. She tricked me.
Oh yeah,
she'd come at you. Yeah, she'd go, beep, and then you're like, oh okay, and then you go for a pet, and then it's like World War. Well, that's not good. That's not a good analogy, but it was like all hell broke loose.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to touch her. She's just for looking. She
was just for looking. Me too. Hey.
She was just for looking.
No touch.
No touch. Looking. Just for looking.
Yeah, just for looking. I am going to be curious to see how this unfolds. And even if we don't find any kind of connection, I think it's good that we're at least bringing awareness to this bizarre rash of missing people in these two counties.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Because it's a lot. It's a lot of people to go missing in such, a small area, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how everything plays out.
All right. So, with that, I guess I'll do my missing person, huh?
Okay.
All right. So this week's missing person is Azariah Kirby. He was last seen in Bexar County on June 15th, 2025. Azara Davion Lewis Kirby is 13 years old. He has been missing since June 15th, 2025 from Bexar County. He was last seen leaving his residence in the 15,300 block of House Wren Way.
Okay.
Azariah suffers from a medical condition that requires medication, and there is concern for his safety. He is 5'7". He weighs approximately 135 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and red shoes, and he has a scar between his left eyebrow. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, please contact local authorities immediately at the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, 210-335-6000. And I will have his information.
Okay.
Yeah, and his picture up.
Okay, man, that's scary. He's 13 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it's I when we first started this podcast, I got in contact with a woman through Margolin, who does the Awesome Missing Persons nonprofit. Well, I mean, that's a whole other story, but I was introduced through her, this woman who lived in Cedar Park, I believe, or outside of Austin, and her son actually was missing. She knew he was alive because they had seen video footage of him.
Yeah.
But what had happened, or what they suspect happened, was that he got basically kidnapped by like organized crime.
Right.
And
like
was
gangs, right?
Like gangs, and was like being forced to do like little petty crimes for this gang. But eventually he did come home. And we had talked about maybe doing like a segment about him, but we thought it was too dangerous.
Yeah.
At the time.
Right.
That kid was only 16. I mean, it's a possibility of why there are so many missing people.
Yeah. And that could be the case. I mean, it really could.
I know this was a short episode. Okay, I know that. Jasmine knows that. We know that.
I know.
We know it. But I hope it was interesting enough for y'all to tune in for next week.
For next week. Next week, I do have some more older cases, so I can't guarantee as much, or any more information, but hopefully you'll tune in just to hear our voice. Alequah's timing needs work, but...
I'm sorry, I've got a lot on my mind. So if you like our podcast, please come back. We miss you.
please give us a listen. You don't even have to listen. Just play it. Let it run for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
You can. Oh, this world! I tell you, it's got upside down. Listen, if you like our podcast, you can follow us on Facebook.
It's Nosey Nancies podcast.
And you can also follow us on Instagram.
It's Nosey Nancies.
And we do have a TikTok.
It's Nosey Nancies podcast.
Yeah. And we also have an email. So if you need to talk to us about anything, any comments or concerns or cases or just little shout outs, just you can go ahead and email us at noseynancies@gmail.com. That's NOSEYNANCIS@gmail.com.
Wonderful. We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, we also have a Patreon.
It's a Nosey Nancies podcast.
Yes. So if you want to join, it's $5. If you don't want to join, that's fine. It's no big deal. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for spending some of your time with us today. We really appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah, we do really appreciate you guys. So, yeah, we'll see you next time.